All right, welcome to the KURLINESPEAKS show. We are so excited that you have joined us here tonight. We have an amazing guest with us. Tonight, we have the CEO and founder of Joy for the Journey Mentoring Program. We have Joy Hill in the house. Joy, how are you tonight?
Hey, Miss Curleen, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm good. I'm wonderful. Joy Hill, the people's coach. We are so excited. We have heard so much about you, and we know all the good things that you're doing out there, empowering women and young women in particular, just pouring out from your very own experience. I think that's amazing. I'm excited. When I search your website and I look you up, I said, I have to bring her in. And so thank you so much for accepting my invitation, for being here tonight. Joy, how are you today?
I'm really doing great. It's the end of a long Monday here where I'm at, but it's been a very productive one. So this is a great way to end a day, and that is with you on your show. So thanks for having me. I really appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited. And I want to dig from you tonight, Joy, because I know that you have so much in you that you've given out there. I mean, people are talking about you, so much that you have poured from your own experience. Some of it really just ripped my heart apart because I'm like, this woman is just glowing. How do you even do it? That's my question. It's like, how do you do that? And because we're in a society, Joy, where so much is going on. Everyone's trying to find their way. People are trying to figure out what joy is, what happiness is. And there goes your mentoring program. Can you tell us a little bit more about the mentoring program? What really do you do in there? Yeah, what really happens there?
All right. Well, you asked me a bunch of questions just now, so I think I'll go to the first question, which was, how do I do that? You're like, you're glowing and things like that. How do you do? Well, it's really the Lord. I'm not trying to be cliche-ish, but that's the source of my strength. That's the source of my joy. That's the source of my peace. That's the source of my provision. That's the source of my protection. I mean, He is the source of everything in my life. And so I have to really give God all of the glory for that. I couldn't have done all that I've done. I've been on this journey the way I have been, the timing of everything without the grace of God. So I have to give all glory and honor to Him. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, in terms of the mentoring program, yeah, there's a lot of people that want to have happiness and they think that that's the end all be all, but happiness and joy are two, they sound like they might be the same, but they're actually very different. Happiness is based on happenings. Happiness is substantial. Happiness comes from external sources, but joy comes from within. Joy is something that is deep within yourself. No matter what the circumstances are around you, you can still have joy. Even in times of hardship, even in times of sickness, even in times of divorce, even in times of feeling lonely, you can still have joy. It is not circumstantial. It comes from the inside out, not outside in. So my program, Joy for the Journey, I really got the vision for this around a year ago, this time last year, in the fall of the pandemic. And I hired a business coach, and her name is Natalie Taylor. Shout out to my business coach. And y'all got to look her up. She's fantastic. But she helped me to put skin on the bones, if you will, of this vision that I had. I was a former pastor's wife. For those of you that don't know my story, some of your followers and your audience may not know who I am. I was a former pastor's wife of 25 years. We were married. We were together 34 years, from the age of 14 to 46. That was more than half my life, Curleen, right? We have two amazing, amazing sons, 26 and 18 now. But when I hit 46 years old, it was in the year of 20.
Hang on a second, Joy. Let me stop you. Did you just say when you hit 46?
Yeah.
Okay, go on. Okay. It is still the glow for me. It is still the glow.
I didn't know what you were saying.
Yeah, it is still the glow for me. I'm telling you, this joy thing is really working for you. It really is, because it is showing. And I think amongst all of the wonderful things that you're doing, I think this is the most important thing. This is what really captures me about you, because you're not just saying it. You're not just teaching it, but your whole life shows it. The glow is there. How do we say we have joy and we're always cranky? We don't understand what's going on. Your face, your countenance. I think that's important. Your countenance has to match what you're saying and what you're giving out there. And you're just a prime example of that. Keep smiling, Joy. Just
Bless
keep,
your heart.
I want some of that.
Oh. Hey, well, listen, I'm 4 years older now. I'm 50. I turned 50 this year.
Oh
So
my goodness.
yeah, my world went boom at 46. And I just made a declaration and a vow to God and myself that I wasn't going to get stuck, Carlene. You know, you have to, everybody faces crossroads in their life, if you will. And I faced a huge crossroad when I was, faced with the challenge and the reality that my marriage was over. And so, and the relationship of my youth, so a person doesn't get married to get divorced. So when everything went boom, and then we were a ministry family as well, a ministry couple. We were pretty well known, we were with a pretty well known brand. And so we were really on the acceleration to, really do even greater things. God had really given us the opportunity to do great things, but we were on the path to do even greater. But God did not change his mind about me. Even though the situation changed, God's mind did not change about me. And I want to encourage your listeners right now, God has not changed his mind about you.
There you go.
So keep on growing, going, and glowing, my loves. Okay, so Joy for the Journey came from that experience because I've determined not to get stuck in pain, anger, and bitterness, and unforgiveness, and the like. And so I made a vow to the Lord that I wasn't going to get stuck. And furthermore, if he got me free from that situation, I was going to help other, specifically women, to not be stuck as well. So that's where Joy for the Journey came from. 4 years later, that came 4.5 years, almost 5 years later, it came to pass. And so the beginning of 2021, January, I kicked off the year specifically helping women who are transitioning through a divorce or on the other side of divorce, but may need an extra little hand to hold them, give them some support. Maybe they're stuck in some of those things that I listed a few seconds ago. And so that's what my program is. I'm a hope dealer. I want them to feel hope. I want them to be transformed, go from transformation or transition to transformation. And I want them to be healed. And so God put me on like some kind of accelerated path. I don't know why. Listen, it was whoa. Listen.
Joy, he sure did. He sure did. And it is working. And the women are receptive and people are ringing you up. And I know that it's definitely growing. I am drawn to the program because I am also a divorced young woman. And so I do understand the path. I do understand the pain. I do understand the transition to transformation. Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm still in transition, but that's one of the things that I like about your program. It highlights and it accepts you where you are in your journey. And so that's one of the highlights for me. Joy, do you think in your program you come across more younger women below the age of 40 or women over the age of 40? Just for statistics purposes.
I have a wide range. I have them as young as in early 30s. I have a 30, she just turned 31 last week, all the way up to older than me in their 60s. So yeah, I have a wide range of women. And because thank God for, you know what? I thank God for the pandemic, because if it had not been for the pandemic, okay, some people may have a different opinion, especially if it hit your household, in a really horrific way. But one of the things I was determined was to learn something through this pandemic. And one of the things I learned was to challenge myself in the virtual world, because I was always very, kind of technically challenged. I would say I was a little, a techie challenged person.
Yeah.
But because of that, I was able to use the platform, this virtual platform, to launch my program. And so I have got women in all 4 time zones of the US. I got them from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast. I got them from California to Tampa, Florida. I mean, just, in every single time zone. So,
amazing. Yeah. You've done well. You've done great work. I commend you for it. Thank you first of all, I want to say thank you for really responding to the call of God in your life. And I say a lot of times when we don't respond, we don't understand that there are lives attached to our lives. And so responding is very important. Look at how you responded, and so many women that you're reaching. And there are more women that are coming your way because unfortunately with the pandemic, a lot of people's relationship, right? They could not, oh my goodness, people just could not stand. They couldn't stand each other, couldn't live with each other. So the pandemic really defined a lot of marriages out there. Foundation. Do you have that foundation in that? So Joy, tell us, what do you think is the biggest struggle for most women who are divorced and are in transition? What's the biggest struggle? What's the biggest hurdle that they have to cross?
I think there's so many, but one of the biggest ones I will say is accepting your singleness, your state of singleness,
Ah.
and not getting that confused with the negative connotation of being single, like you're alone, you're incomplete.
Mhm.
No, single means whole. If you look up the definition of single, it's whole, it's complete,
Yes.
and I look at the word even alone. A lot of times I feel so alone. If you look at the word alone, it's really like all one. So if you think of that, you're enough. And so really getting women to change the lens, if you will, of how
Mhm.
you see your situation. I do this because I'm thinking of when you go to the eye doctor and they say, okay, is lens one better? Is lens two? Is lens
Right.
three better? Lens four? And really helping women to change the lens and the perspective of how they're seeing themselves
Mhm.
and how they're seeing this situation. I want my mentees to know that they are enough, that they did not need someone to complete them. They already came complete. And if they were broken in some areas of their life, that's what they need to focus on during this season of singleness.
Right.
You need to be very good and single when you go into a marriage, meaning you need to be whole. You need to be complete. You don't need to be, it's not a 50-50, it's 100-100. So you need to keep working on yourself. And this is something I also say, Curleen, as it pertains to healing. Healing is not a destination. There's no expiration date. There's no timestamp. Okay, well, by this time you should be healed. You should be
Can you
over it.
can you repeat that, Joy?
Okay,
Can you just
healing is
repeat
not a destination. It's a journey. Healing is not a destination. It is a journey. It's an ongoing process. So it's like forgiveness. You got to walk in perpetual forgiveness. And so it's just a process, and really getting the women to know, okay, this is going to be an ongoing process of your journey, but it doesn't have to mean you can't have joy throughout the entirety of your journey. Okay. And getting them to also see that even though life happened, life went boom in our lives, it's just temporary. The pain is just temporary. The
that?
financial lack is just temporary. Your living situation is just temporary. The hurt is just temporary. And if you look at it as just a temporary situation, oh, I got chill bumps. I'm starting to preach. Okay.
I'm feeling this. I just got
Yeah,
excited.
yeah, it's just temporary. So I want your viewers, whoever's watching, I want you to say right now, it's just
It's just
temporary. This is not a permanent situation, and this is not how your story is going to end. You have
that's
control. You and Jesus have the control to to control your narrative. We are written epistles read of by men, and so God is the author of our lives, right? And so with that in mind, I want you to feel empowered. That's what I want. I want women and men, even who are going to probably watch this broadcast, to know that you have the power to control
right.
the narrative of your story. This is not the end.
Not. Wow. Somebody's out there who's gonna catch this today. Somebody, because I just felt that in my bones. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Now I really was looking forward to sitting with you. And I've drawn so much from you. And I really understand why the women is so excited about this. And the fact that it was birthed in the pandemic really
Yeah.
says a lot, because we saw so much in the pandemic. I mean, we saw things that we've never seen before, but we saw things that were possible.
Yes.
And you saw a possibility. You didn't sit on it. You didn't
Nope.
keep dreaming. You didn't worry about your barriers.
Nope.
You went full head with this. And today, women are being blessed all over the states,
Now,
all over the world.
I'm not gonna tell you I wasn't scared, but, but like my mentor always says, do it afraid.
Do it afraid.
Do
Do
it
it
afraid.
afraid, but
That's
do
right.
it anyway.
Mhm.
Well, we're
Absolutely.
glad you did it. We're so glad you did it, Joy. Oh my goodness. So, I mean, I am a divorced individual. I'm young, and there are times that I do feel like, oh my goodness, I'm still a little bit embarrassed, because as you mentioned before, no one got married to get a divorce.
Right.
And I completely agree with you that it is a journey.
Yeah.
And healing is not a destination.
No, it's not.
But Joy, I must admit, and I know someone out there, I'm saying it for the many other women
Be for real. Be
who
transparent.
who have the same issues and don't want to keep it 100, but I'm saying it for them.
Yeah.
There are still moments, Joy, where I say, yikes, but couldn't it have worked? It would have been better. I would have looked much better with a husband next to me in ministry. I would have looked much better with a man next to me with what I'm doing right now. Joy, what do you say to women who are thinking that they have to have a man, even if they're being told that you are enough, but still in the back of their heads, I still feel it looks better with the man next.
Well, kind of getting back to what you said at the very beginning, how, social media and society looks at people and even like the spirit of comparison comes in, and everybody's looking at somebody else's love story and how they're booed up and all this other stuff. Had a COVID boo, well, not COVID boo, but pandemic boo. Quarantine.
I love
bay.
it.
That's what they call it. Quarantine bay.
Quarantine bay.
That's what they called it. I couldn't remember at the time, but yeah, quarantine bay. Listen, kind of like what I said earlier, God did not change his mind about you. If you were anointed before your marriage, during your marriage, guess what? The anointing didn't go anywhere. If you're called before or during your marriage, guess what? You're still called. If you had a purpose before, guess what? You still have a purpose. God did not change his mind about you.
That's right.
That's it. Because when we go when this is all said and done, and we get up to the pearly gates, right? And we go before the Father, he's not going to say, well, where's your man? You incomplete. The man ain't next to you, so you didn't get to really fulfill. No, he called us individually. And at the end of the day, Curleen, I want to hear 2 words: well done.
That's right.
I cannot be in control of what anybody else says or does. I am in control of my destiny, me and Jesus. And so I cannot wait for a man to complete me. No, there's no such thing. I'm already complete. You're already whole. You're a perfectly single woman, just like you are. Now, I'm not saying that, it's taboo or a bad thing to have a man. No. Listen, I still believe in love, honey. I'm still a good thing. Okay. And I want to be married again. It was hard for me to turn the switch off, from being a wife. I was a wife for so many years. And so that was one thing that was challenging for me, but I know that I'm still a good thing. I still have the qualities of being an amazing wife. And whoever hooks up with me, as the Bible says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord.
That part.
Oh, well, you have to realize, ladies, you are a good thing. And any man would be blessed to have you as a part of their life, not the other way around. You need to kind of have that kind of swag about you, like, listen, I know I'm all that, and God has made me fearfully and wonderfully.
Don't get it twisted.
I compliment, not compete with any man, and so it should be a compliment to be with someone and not feeling like, oh, now I'm complete. No. So I want you to just really have in your mind, okay, I am enough. I am all one. I'm perfectly single just the way I am. Even being single in marriage, you need to still be single in marriage. I know that's too deep. That's too deep.
Unpack this for us a little bit. Being single in marriage. We're not gonna let you get away with this. We know. This is gonna have to be a part 2, but just give us a little bit. Just a little bit, Joy. A little bit.
Well, honestly, that's not even my train of thought. I love teaching. I love like Dr. Miles Monroe. And that's something that I got from him, is that you need to be single even in your marriage, because remember, again, the word single means whole. It means unique. It means complete. It means enough. It means all one. And so you still need to have that, because a lot of marriages, unfortunately, and I know it was for me, you tend to lose yourself in your marriage. Okay, it's kind of like, remember that scene in Coming to America when when the prince was getting married for the first time, and he was like, well, who are you? Like, what do you like? She's like, whatever you like. Well, where do you like to, wherever you like to go. And she's hopping around.
Your own self, lady. That was so
right. But honestly, that was a comedic way of saying, but it's really true. A lot of women, and I'll raise my hand. I'll keep it real. I lost part of myself in my marriage. It all became about him. It all became about what he did. It was all about his world. It was all about making him happy. And Joy was starting to I started to lose myself. And as you see, I'm pretty verbal. Like, I'm pretty articulate.
Yeah, you are.
I'm pretty intelligent.
In your mind.
You know what I mean? And but a lot of that was pushed down further and further and further and further. And so that's why if I had known about this, like, be single, still be in the mindset of being single while you're married. Just meaning whole, just be a whole, complete you. Yeah, that's all that means.
Ladies, don't get it twisted. Don't get it mixed up. So we're not saying be single and do single things while you're in the marriage. That's not misquote. Joy Hill and go to a coaching session if you want to really impact this for you. But she's saying be single, meaning be whole in the marriage. Don't come in broken. Don't come in pieces. Come in whole. Find out who you are first.
That shows a sign of weakness when you come into a relationship and a marriage and you're still shattered and broken, especially if you experience hurt and pain. Listen, everybody's talking about these red flags, and if somebody's doing this, they get a red flag, you get a red flag, you get a red flag. Sometimes we need to give ourselves,
I love the red flags.
Listen, sometimes we need to give ourselves a red flag. Yes, ma'am. Ooh. And so you need to work on the red flags in your own life.
You posted something about that.
I did.
You did. You know I'm all over your IG, so don't. You know, and I shared it in my. You already know. I'm gonna go stalk you afterwards. But yes, I agree. We have to give ourselves a red flag. Joy, just say that again. I feel
if you realize that you have some areas in your life that you need to work on, and you're not doing that, and you're expecting your future husband or your future spouse to fix that, that's a red flag. I don't want a fixer-upper in my next husband. I want him to be good and single, good and whole, good and complete, having security. I don't want an insecure man. He doesn't want an insecure woman.
Project. We don't want
a fixer-upper. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So yes, that doesn't mean you go out to the club and still, having side pieces and side chicks and side guys. And that's not that. It's just being whole, knowing who you are, having your voice, being completely you, and being comfortable unapologetically you.
Wow, I posted something like that the other day. I'd rather be a whole piece, P-E-A-C-E, than to be a side piece, P-I-E-C-E. That right there. I'd rather be a whole piece, P-E-A-C-E, than to be a side piece, P-I-E-C-E.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. That's powerful. That's powerful.
Wow. Going into the marriage whole. And so that's for a lot of the singles out there who are searching, who are waiting, waving their left hands all over the place, letting everybody know they're single.
Stop waving.
Make sure you work on you.
Yeah, go travel, go do things. You don't have to wait for a spouse
to rescue you.
Your life. Live your life. God says he came to give us life and life abundantly. He didn't say he came to give us a husband and a husband. He said life. Go travel. Start.
I didn't say I've called you to be a side piece. Don't get me started. Your calling is to be a side piece. No. Wake up. Smell the coffee. Smell something.
Ma'am.
Smell it. Raise your own red flag.
That's what I do in my program. I'm very real, very transparent. Yes. I share my own experiences. I challenge them. So I have like two entities to my program. There's one-on-one coaching, and that's people can sign up anytime for one-on-one coaching. And that's I do a minimum of like 12 sessions. That's mine right there. Yes, I do one-on-ones. Yep. But with that, you also get the other entity of my program, which is the group coaching. Now, a lot of women tend to kind of shy away from that at first because it's like, you got to be vulnerable. You got to lean in, and I'm a very interactive. I have an interactive group. So I don't let people just sit by and sit in the corner and just hide out. No. You have to show your face at time, on the group chat and things like that. I want you to lean in. I give self-work. I don't call it homework, but I give self-work because we're growing and we're growing. We got to grow so we can glow. So I really give work that they are held accountable for in the one-on-ones and the group. So we come together, on Saturdays, and we have even a session that we pray together for one of those 3 sessions a month. And it's beautiful to see the women they're starting to bond. And then we also have a private Facebook group page where we have daily interaction, daily encouragement. You can chat on it. It's wonderful. It's exclusive. It's private. You got to be a part of the program to be part of it. And this is an investment, ladies. It's not free 99.
Right. Invest in yourself.
It's an investment. You got to invest in yourself.
I completely agree. Invest in yourself. And I think that's where a lot of the women fall short, because when it comes to finding a coach that is really going to speak into your life and really bring a difference into your life. And we know with your coaching program, there's been results. Okay. People have been talking about it. People are living their best lives. We tend to find every excuse to not sign up. But if we want a new iPhone, we get it. We want a new truck. We get,
Bills,
and there is
hair.
nothing wrong, but investing in yourself, knowing that it's not just for today, but it's for the long haul. It's for the future. You have lives that are attached to you also.
That's
So
right.
we don't want you walking around broken all the days of your life. You are not called to be broken.
That's right.
You can be broken, but you need to be whole.
Even in my lean times, I knew I needed to make an investment in my healing. So I sacrificed. I didn't do my nails for a year.
That's right.
You know, I got my hair braided as opposed to going every, 2-3 weeks to get my hair done from the salon and all this. I learned how to color my own gray. Hello. So, you know what I mean? Like, we have to make sacrifices.
That's right. And look at you today. I mean, goodness. The sacrifices have paid off. And that's what I like about you and your life, is that you're not just talking the talk. You walk the walk, and we've seen the results. And that's what we're after, the results. We're not after the conversations, we're after the results. And we know that Joy Hill's coaching program, I call you Joy Hill, the people's coach. That's my thing. Joy Hill, the people's coach, because I'm very result driven. And so anyone I ask to be on the show is based on results. We're not just coming here because we feel like talking. People are talking about your coaching. And I am drawn to it. And we've seen results because I know firsthand what it is to be divorced.
Yes.
And to be in transition and to be living in regret and all of that stuff, because we have to be transparent. I'll be honest. I lived in regret for a long time. Yeah. That's why you're here, to coach us. And even the very coaches need a coach.
And my divorce, Kurleen, was very public. It went viral.
Your whole life, honey.
And so
God handpicked you, sweetie. Tag Joy.
If you Google my name,
tag Joy. I'm sorry, but tag. God knew why he didn't call me for this one. That wasn't, God's like, step in the back of the line. I didn't call you for that, Kurleen. The measure of grace that he gave you.
I was broken publicly, so God said, I'm gonna heal you publicly.
That's right.
I'm gonna deliver you publicly.
That's right.
I'm gonna promote you publicly, because everything was So that's been my journey. And there are women that are in the program. Some of them have been recently divorced. Some of them are still in the transition, the process. Some of them have been divorced for over 10, 12 years, and they still need some hope. They're still healing. They're still on the journey. And so it's not for people who are recently divorced or anything. Whatever part of your journey you're on, if you need some encouragement, you need community. That's so important to not go through this process alone, which is why I have both entities. You have me for the one-on-one, but then you have a group. It's a sisterhood. And it's
like, let me tell you what among everything that I've read about you and what I've heard about you, what I like most is that people are saying, for all the things you've been through, and like you said, public, right? Your situation was public. You don't smell bitterness on you. You celebrate forgiveness. You encourage forgiveness. You're very honest and transparent of what we will feel while we walk through forgiveness. And that it's not a destination. It's not a 1, 2, 3. And that's what's the humbling part of you that we like. Some people go through things and they're going to say, child, take your time. Don't rush into it. Don't do it. No, it's a no, honey. Go to school, do everything. Don't get married. You don't say that to others. And that's what we like about you. You give everyone a fair chance to live their best lives. You're asking us to take it easy, but what you're emphasizing on is working on ourselves, that we can be whole enough to be able to succeed in a marriage. And that's what, Joy, publicly, I want to say thank you for what you do for the women out there. If no one has ever said it to you, I want to say thank you. Thank you for answering the call on your life. Like I said, he didn't pick me, Joy. He picked you. He picked you. That was your.
Oh, but he picked you for your lane. I can't do what you do. You're called to do what you're doing. So.
He picked you. Joy, I'm all over this coaching thing. You can find her on Instagram at I am Joy Hill. You can find her all over Google. Just put that name in there. She's gonna pop up.
Yeah, and people.
That's what we like about Google. If you're not in Google, we can have a conversation.
People can go to my website and learn more about the program. If you didn't get enough information on this session with me and Kurleen, you can go on my website, which is iamjoyhill.com.
We're gonna be all over her. We're gonna stalk her. And that red flag. Don't forget to give yourself a red flag. But Joy,
listen.
Red flag. I love it. I'm gonna steal that post again and share it in my story, because It is for real, for real, for real. I mean, we're having a good time, we're laughing, but it really, really reaches the hearts of people. And when I read that post, I said, whoa, okay. I'm gonna take a walk and come back to that post, because I'm not gonna say how I feel, but I know minutes later I said, okay, I got it, Joy. That was free coaching right there. Yeah, I didn't have to pay for the red flag.
Right.
And that's what we like about you. So Joy, tell us in about 60 seconds, what advice do you have to particularly the young women out there who are desiring to be married? I know you've given us everything about getting whole, but is there anything else that you want to say to them tonight before we end this amazing time that we're having?
Man, I felt like I said it all. Maybe just to reiterate, your singleness, and just to be comfortable in your own skin. Be comfortable with how you speak, with your body. Don't body shame yourself. That's enough coming from outside. So in every aspect, from the rooter to the tutor, like, love yourself.
Ooh,
be kind to yourself. Be compassionate to yourself.
Ah.
Listen, self-love is sexy. It is. Being kind to yourself, being confident. That's the new sexy for me. And so I want you all to walk with your head held high. I don't care if you're a size 2 or 22. Girl, you better walk out the house looking G-O-O-D. Hear me?
Okay.
If all you gotta do is put some lip gloss on. You can't get your little piece like I did. And
that's right. That's right. Improvise.
Listen, you can make it work on a budget. But keep working on yourself. You've got the finances to go back to school or to finish something you started. Do that. I want you to be intentional. That's the word. I want you to be intentional with your growth, because when you grow like that, you'll glow like that.
Wow. Okay, I'm just about the glowing part, but yeah. Curly's trying to skip a stage, but the glow, it's the glow. It's still the glow. It's always going to be the glow. Joy Hill, we're the people's coach. We love you. We thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by tonight. We want to see more of you. I know that there's a part 2 coming up, because I know what you put out there. So don't even play with us, Joy. But thank you so much. Again, you can find her. I am Joy Hill on Instagram, all over social media. Her website, check her out. Joy Hill everywhere. Joy, thank you again. And guys, thank you so much for joining us and watching the Kurline Speaks show. There's more to come. Stand by and make this great. See you later. Bye. I am so excited because we have great things in store. Thank you for sharing in Kurline Speaks. If you have not subscribed, this is your chance to do so. Hit on that word, subscribe, and let me see you in the next video. Kurline Speaks love you. Bye now.